All right, so next what we're going to do is we are going to rig the eye controller. It can be done any number of ways, but instead of doing FK, we're going to do something different. Now you'll notice that my eyeballs are actually back here, and that's because when we put the spine in, it sort of shifted it. So I'm just going to go ahead and unreference it here. I'm going to grab those eyeballs. I'm going to grab the one, and I'm just going to snap it right to the eyeball joint. And grab this one and do the same thing. And I'm just going to snap it to the eyeball joint. Okay, it's not the best way to do it. Let's go ahead and have these actually controlled by the model itself. So, or by the joints. So I just want the joints to control this, but we didn't bind it, so we're just going to parent constrain it. So have the joint selected, then the eyeball, and then go constraint and parent. Same thing here. Eyeball, then the eyeball joint, then the eyeball geometry, and then I'll hit G, since this is the last thing I did. And now if you were to select this, let's put this back to reference. I hit 5. Oh, it's on template, that's why. You'll see that that will then subsequently rotate the eyeball, which is what we want. Now what I want to do is I just want to drive these eyeball joints in a better way. Because now you'll see too, also, like the eyeballs will move with the head, which is a lot better than we had before. But I want to control these. So what we're going to do is we're going to do an eye aim constraint. So obviously the way that you move your eyes is you rotate them. But one thing you will notice is that when you look at stuff, you don't just rotate them, you focus on something. Your eyes are always looking at something. Even if you see someone read, their eyes don't just go from left to right. You'll see they'll jitter. They go from word to word to word to word to word. You'll never see the eyes make just a general slow motion from one area to another, except for a couple instances. One being if they're looking at something moving in front of them. But most of the time the eyes are focusing on something. So instead of making like FK controls and just rotating the eyes manually, we're actually going to make a different type of controller. So go to create, nerve primitives, circle, and then we're going to take that circle, take it, move it up and over, and I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. So I'm going to hold J as I rotate this so that it is vertical, like so. I'm going to go to the front view here, let's frame, and we're just going to scale it so that it roughly fits the eyes. Let's scale it this way as well. Move it up, scale it back up a little bit. We'll say like that. I'm going to go to control CVs. I'm going to grab this one, and I'm going to scale them together so I get something kind of like that. Actually, let's take this one and go a little bit beyond. Take this one and go a little bit beyond. Grab these two, and I'm going to scale these in a little bit. So I get basically this sort of mask looking thing. Imagine they're wearing like a mask like the Incredibles, okay? The look of it actually doesn't really matter, but I like to have it look like that. Okay, so yeah, the next thing I do is the eye controllers themselves. So create, nerves, primitives, circle, and once again, I'm going to take it and we're going to move it up and over. And I am going to, once again, rotate it. I'm going to hold J to do increment, or you can just type in 90 over here. That's kind of weird. We'll just type in 90, okay? And you'll see that's centered. So we're just going to move it over roughly like so. Scale a little bit bigger, like we'll say like that. Let's move it up a little bit. I'm just going to try and center it. Just eyeball it, if you will. Okay. Let's duplicate this, and I'm just going to take the translate X, and we're going to make it a negative instead. Okay, let's try that again. No, I do have a thing in there. Okay. Minus. There we go. And now it's on the other side. Okay, good. Now we need to color these and rename them and all that. So I'll grab this one, go to the attribute editor. Let's just go ahead to object display, drawing overrides, enable overrides, and I'm just going to make this guy red. Okay, and then I'll grab this one, and I'm going to make this one yellow, just so that they stick out from each other, and we'll also make this one yellow. Okay, now we're going to do is just rename these. So we'll just call this Logan underscore eyes controller underscore C underscore CRV. Good. And we'll take this one and we'll call this Logan underscore, what is this, left eye? Left, or sorry, we'll do I controller underscore L underscore CRB. And let's just copy that, bring it over here, paste it in here, Control V, but change the L to an R. Great. Okay. Let's grab all these, do modify, freeze transformations, zero them out, and good. Select them all, and we'll also do edit, delete by type history, just to get rid of any extra stuff. We're going to take both of these and we're going to parent them to this one. So select those two, shift select this, and hit P. So now when you move this, it moves the other two. Fabuloso. Okay, so now we have our controller more or less set up. Oh, these are not quite in line, so they don't have to be, but I don't like how far off they are. So I'm just going to move them in. Can I curve snap? Is that gonna? No, it doesn't. I'm just going to make it a little bit closer. It doesn't actually matter. Modify freeze transformations. Okay. So you didn't do it. Modify freeze transformations. There we go. Okay. All right. So we have the controllers here. Now we just want them to work on this. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this controller. You're going to, I'm going to put wireframe on shaded so I can see the eyeball a little bit better by clicking on this. I'm going to have the left one selected. I'm going to hold shift, click on this one, and you're going to go constraint, and we're going to choose aim. I'll hit the option box. Let's do edit, reset settings, and I want you to turn on maintain offset. That way it won't snap to a new position. It's going to keep its current offset that it currently is, and hit add. Okay, we're going to do the same thing with this side. Grab this one, shift click the joint, and hit G. All right, so now what I want to show you is this. When I move this, it'll move both of them. So if you look at the eyes, see it's always looking at this controller. But if for some reason I needed to only move one eye, I have that possibility. So if I wanted to have him, like make some micro adjustments, I can do that as well. Generally speaking, you're going to use this. But if you need to, shift the eyes a little bit more individually, we would have that as a possibility. Okay, so that is it for the eye controllers.